Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. It's not long until Godzilla vs Kong's official release, so I thought I'd tie in a video with this event. I'm going to be talking about The Mighty Kong, an animated musical based on the 1933 film King Kong. No, this is a real movie, it does exist, I'm not making it up. Movie director Carl Denham wants his next film to be spectacular. So he hires a beautiful struggling actress called Ann Darrow, and sets sail for the mysterious Skull Island. Once on land, Carl and his crew come across a native tribe who worship a giant gorilla called Kong. Ann is then kidnapped by the tribe and offered to Kong, who befriends the actress after being smitten by her beauty. The humans rescue Ann from Kong, then Carl chains up the poor animal for public exhibition. But Kong breaks his chains, escapes the theatre, grabs Ann from a hotel room and climbs up the Empire State Building, where he's shot at by the military. With the exception of one scene which is more inspired by the 70s Kong movie, this is pretty much a scene-for-scene remake of the 1933 King Kong, only it's a colourful animated musical geared towards very young children. The Mighty Kong might sound like a strange film to exist, but Kong has been turned into a cartoon before and since this film. Plus a King Kong stage musical was performed on Broadway. So once you realise all these facts, the novelty of The Mighty Kong wears off and seems less weird in hindsight. I mean, when I say that this is a scene-for-scene remake, I'm not exaggerating. There's not much deviation from the original story, except for the ending, but I'll get into that later. The only prominent new characters are a little boy called Ricky and his pet monkey Chips. Very young kids might find Ricky relatable because he's roughly around their age and wants to feel part of the crew. Plus perhaps the young'uns will get some laughs from the antics of cheeky Chips.
Hey, Captain! Captain!
Hey, what are you two doing ashore? Get back to the ship!
But Mr. Denham,
You know where he is?
yeah, I'll show you.
No, Ricky, you go to the boat. The monkey will show me the way. Come on, Chips.
He don't work without me, Mr. Driscoll.
Well, okay, get moving.
But in the grand scheme of things, these two are pretty unnecessary characters. The movie tries to get them involved in some scenes, but you could have easily cut them out without having any consequences to the story. As a remake, it's very short. The movie is more of an abridged adaptation than a faithful retelling. This greatly affects the movie's pacing, because action tension, natural relationship building, and world development are being trimmed down in order to keep the movie pushing forward. The Mighty Kong follows the same beats as the 1933 film, but at a much brisker pace. This style of pacing might keep easily distracted kids' attention, but things fly by so fast that we're not given a chance to become attached to any of the human characters or charmed by Kong's animalistic nature. So what about the animation? Well, when you're remaking a film that's gone down in stop motion effects history, the stakes are high to either improve on 30s animation standards or recapture the exact same magic. But The Mighty Kong does neither. Even for straight-to-video standards, this is pretty bad. It's all over the place in terms of quality, as it randomly jumps between being average, jerky, and fluid. When something is decently animated, it really sticks out awkwardly, because the overall quality of the animation is so uneven. There's way too many awkward close-ups and choppy editing too, which can make the film nauseating at times. Especially when we're on a ship and it sways side to side, rocking the audience with its clunky animation. How on earth can a film make me feel seasick? The poor animation severely weakens the impact of Kong's fights as well. The editing is so jumpy and the animation is so crude that it's hard to get grip to these battles. However, praise should be rewarded to the voice actors in this movie, who stand out as the film's saving grace, being the only aspect that comes close to being charming or appealing. The standout performances have to be an eccentric Dudley Moore playing Carl Denham with immense charisma.
Okay, Roscoe. Dolly in for a close-up of Princess Dolly of Pa-Pali. I love it!
And Jodie Benson bringing some sincere emotion to the empathetic actress Ann Darrow.
I've got a really bad feeling about this, CB.
Well, naturally you have, my dear. What's an opening night without jitters?
This poor animal is just not meant to be in chains.
Of course he's not. None of us are. But don't you see he's a trooper? Just like you and me.
That's the thing about straight-to-video animated movies. As bad as some of them are, they do give work and recognition to some very talented people. Like I said before, this is a musical, and I'm sure you're eager to hear my thoughts on the actual songs, which were created by the beloved Sherman Brothers. Well, I honestly didn't like any of them, not just because the film's very low budget noticeably cheapens their quality, but also many other reasons why too. Most of them are incredibly pointless. Like a song called Dolly of Pa-Pali, which is Carl's movie idea as a musical number.
I'm Dolly of Pa-Pali. I love to swim in Polyolly Bay. Friendly koi fish and every girl and boy fish. They see me and they swim around to play.
Seeing as this film never actually gets made, it seems unnecessary to dedicate a whole song to it. It's cute and tropical, I guess, but its purpose in the film counts to nothing. Some songs actually ruin the film too. You see, Anne and a sailor called Jack Driscoll have a conflictive relationship because Jack is a rude and sexist pig.
It's not her fault she's a woman. She probably doesn't even know she's a jinx.
A jinx? Oh, why, you arrogant oaf! I'll show you jinx!
But after Jack warms Anne up with his coat, we suddenly cut to an out-of-nowhere romantic ballad that establishes them as madly in love.
Two strangers meet and magic meet. They know what's meant to be. They see their destiny.
It's so abrupt and random that all I could do was watch in confusion. Yeah, the romance in the 1933 King Kong is pretty rushed too, but melodrama was the norm for love stories back in the 1930s.
Say, I guess I love you.
The Mighty Kong missed a huge chance to update Anne and Jack's romance by making it play out more naturally, but instead it decides to indulge in a sappy love song without actually earning one. There's only 4 or 5 songs I think, and none of them are memorable or catchy. I forgot them all already, and I watched the movie an hour ago. Oh, and don't get me started on giving the native tribe a stereotypical chanting song. The Kong films have often been criticised for their depictions of indigenous people, and this film does no favours to that reputation. Well, I think it's time that I finally got around to the ending. In this version, King Kong lives, which is sure to make kids happy, but older audiences will just see this as sappy pandering. A happy ending for the sake of a happy ending that dilutes the tragedy of Kong's exploitation. To conclude, the Mighty Kong can be seen as a kid-friendly alternative to the darker and more violent live-action Kong movies. Sort of a My First Kaiju for the little ones. Beyond that though, it's not got much going for it in terms of quality or artistic merit. Its animation is inconsistent and terribly edited. The forgettable songs misrepresent the Sherman Brothers' true talent, and the rush pacing makes it hard to emotionally resonate with the story or characters. It'll certainly keep easily entertained kids quiet for an hour, and I'm sure it's a treasured nostalgic favourite for many 90s children. Which is fine, but it's pretty unremarkable and unimpressive to me. A shallow film that recycles a monster classic into nothing more than babysitter fodder for a quick buck. Have you seen Mighty Kong? If so, let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to click that like button. Cheerio, folks!